Hello students, today I am Rashmi Singh here to teach you one chapter of history, that is tribal, Dikus and vision of the golden age. So first of all, I will tell you that what will be the sequence in this chapter, what are the topics we are going to cover. The topics which we are going to cover is, first topic is characteristics of tribal society, second is tribal occupation, third is changes during British rule, and a closer look in which we are going to do the case study of Birsa revolt. Basically, this chapter will comprise of two lectures. In the first lecture, we are going to cover the first two topics, and in the next lecture, we are going to cover the next two topics. Okay, so in this lecture, we are just going to study characteristics and then their tribal occupations. Okay, so without wasting the time, I would like to start the lecture. Let us start this lecture with a small story, and this story is about Birsa. Birsa is a person who was born in Ulihati district of West Bengal, and people in that area, in the Bengal presidency or the Jharkhand presidency, present day Jharkhand presidency, there were many tribal people there, like Santhals were one tribe, Oraons were one tribe, Munda was one tribe, and Birsa was born in the Munda tribe. अब वहाँ पे क्योंकि बहुत सारी ट्राइब्स थी, तो जो बिरसा थे उनको बहुत ही अलग ट्रीटमेंट दिया जाता था. ही वॉज कंसिडर्ड इक्विवेलेंट टू God. He had many miraculous powers, many magical powers, and it was considered that he can multiply grains. वो grains को multiply कर सकते हैं. And he can heal all the disease also. He can cure the disease. तो उनको बहुत ज़्यादा miraculous माना जाता था, and he was considered equivalent to God. Okay, so from this story we can conclude that the tribal people never worship the normal gods as we do, right? Their beliefs and their customs were completely different. So to understand about tribals, we have to first understand what were the social division in India at that time. Basically, the society was caste-based society. And this society, the other society about which we are going to study, is tribal society. Both these societies were very different from each other. In the caste-based societies, the rules and regulations were formulated by the Brahmins, and people in the caste-based society used to follow all the rules and regulations framed by the Brahmins itself. On the other hand, the people in the tribal society had their own rituals and had their own beliefs. They never followed any kind of religion. They used to worship the nature only. They had syncretic beliefs, but they never had some particular beliefs related with any religion. Okay, so this is one basic difference between the tribal society and caste-based society. Now we will study the characteristics in detail. So first I will write all the characteristics. So the three characteristics are, first, they had their own customs and rituals. That means they never celebrated festivals like Diwali or Holi, or they never worshipped any particular god, or they never believed in idol worshipping. Basically, they always worshipped nature. They had sky god or rain god, like this. Okay, so they had their own customs and beliefs. They used to celebrate one mahotsav, and they used to celebrate the nature basically. Second is, there was no sharp division as seen in caste-based societies. In caste-based society, we already know that there is a hierarchy. Brahmins are considered, Brahman is considered the uppermost caste, and this way only we have four castes, right? Brahmins and Kshatriyas, then Shudras and Vaishyas, and Shudra is considered to be the lowest caste. But there was no such hierarchy in tribal societies. Basically, there was no sharp social division, but yes, there were some economic and social division. Like in tribal areas also, there were some tribes which were comparatively richer than others. Okay. And the last characteristic is that they had the ties of kinship. Like in caste-based society, a person whose father is Brahman will be Brahman only, right? But such kind of hierarchy was not followed in tribal societies. They had ties of kinship. That means if a person is there and he is basically leading the whole tribe, then the whole tribe will belong to this particular person, right? After characteristics, we need to study the tribal occupations. So as we can see here that there were four primary occupations which was being practiced by the tribal societies. First is herding, second is hunting, gathering and shifting cultivation, third is settled cultivation, and last is trading and others occupation. We will study all these occupations one by one in detail. So first is herding. Herding is basically one of the occupations being followed by the tribals, those who lived in the hilly areas. Like most of the tribals, Van Gujjars, they lived in Jammu and Kashmir. Bakarwals, they also lived in hilly areas of Himachal, and Gadis also, they lived in the hilly areas of Uttarakhand and Himachal. They all herded some cattle and they were completely dependent on the goods they get from those animals. Like Van Gujjars, they basically herded sheep and goats. And they used to trade wool obtained from sheep and milk obtained from goats. Similarly, Bakarwals herded buffalo. And Gadis also herded sheep and goats. So they were the people who were completely dependent on animals or cattle for their livelihood. Okay. So the next occupation is hunting and gathering and shifting cultivation also. So hunting and gathering is basically one of the main occupation, or this was the most abundant occupation followed by most of the tribes. Okay. Because you need to understand this, that these tribal people were those who lived in forest. So they were completely dependent on forest for their livelihood. Hunting and gathering is one thing which can be practiced in the forest very easily. So for hunting, we are going to take the case study of Baigas in central India. According to one official report of 1830, Baigas basically hunted deers, rabbits and many other animals in the forest of central India. They used sparrows and poisoned arrows and then bows also to hunt these animals. In many of the places, they also practiced fishing. For fishing, they used a special kind of tool, a mesh tool, which was called jhumar there, okay. And with the help of jhumar, they used to do fishing. Sometimes they also dammed some stream. Dammed some stream means if there is some flowing river. So they used to make some temporary dam with the help of rocks or timber, so that the water can, so that they can hamper the movement of fish and they can hamper the movement of water and they can practice fishing here. Okay. So hunting and gathering is one of the major occupation of tribal people. In case of gathering, they used to gather many forest essential products, like they used to gather the flowers of mahua tree, and with the help of those flowers, they used to make oil. They also used to gather honey, or they used to gather animal skins, and they used to trade it with the people, basically Britishers who have intruded in their forest. Okay. So this is hunting and gathering. Next is shifting cultivation. Shifting cultivation is very important topic, and it will come in your further classes also. So we need to understand this very carefully. Okay. Shifting cultivation is something which is practiced in whole India, okay, and it is known by many regional names everywhere. Like somewhere it is called jhum cultivation also, okay. So first I will tell you what is shifting cultivation. As the name suggests, here the people are not going to get settled at one place. They are shifting from one place to another, okay. So suppose this is a forest. Since tribal people are completely dependent on forest, they never wanted to harm the forest. So they basically cleared a small patch of forest, okay. So how do they used to clear it? Basically they used to cut the trees from their trunk, okay. So that is why it is called slash, okay. Here we are cutting the trees, we are slashing the trees from the trunk. Why so? so that sunlight can reach to the bottom of the forest, okay, to the soil. That is why they used to cut the trees from the trunk, okay. After that, they used to fire those area, and after fire, they used to wait for the rain. Once the rain used to come, the fire will put off and the ash will get assimilated in the soil. The ash will get mixed in the soil, and it will and the soil will get enriched in fertility, okay. So that is why it is called slash and burn. They used to slash the tree, then burn it, so that the ash can get mixed in the soil and the fertility get enhanced, okay. After that, what they used to do, they used to throw the seeds. They never used to sow the tree seeds as the traditional farmers do. They used to throw the seeds. Why? Because sowing the seed was kind of procedure which was discouraged in their custom, okay. तो seeds को sow नहीं करना है क्योंकि उनका custom उनको allow नहीं करता है. They just used to throw the seeds, okay. And after that, they just used to cultivate that piece of land for 3 seasons. We already know that there are 3 seasons, Rabi, Kharif and Zayed. So basically they are going to grow their crop in these 3 seasons, and after that they used to leave this land fallow so that the fertility of the land can be regained. They used to leave that land for approximately 10 years. So 3 seasons of cropping, and then 10 years the land was left fallow, or you can say uncultivated, okay. This is the procedure of shifting cultivation. In your book it is given that Baigas used to call their land with a different name, that is Devar, okay. So shifting cultivation is very good for the environment also, and it is being encouraged by the government now also, okay, and practiced also in India. Currently also it is being practiced. Third occupation is settled cultivation. As we have seen that in the central India, many of the Baigas tribe used to shift from one place to another. Why? Because they were not traditional farmers. They never knew how that the land can regain fertility. They did not know that. They were not skilled enough to make the land fertile again. That is why they used to leave it. But at some places, like in Chota Nagpur Plateau, there were many tribes who have learnt this skill, and they have settled in that area only, the patch of land which they have cleared for the cultivation. And they started practicing settled cultivation. The land which was cleared belonged to the whole tribe and not to an individual. This is one of the different thing in this kind of cultivation, that the land never belonged to one particular tribe but to the whole community as a whole, okay. Next occupation is trading and other occupations. Like when India became the colonies of Britishers, they started to know that forest is one of the most important resource. So they started interfering into the forest, they started intruding into the forest, they entered into the forest. So now these tribal people, some of the tribal people had got the opportunity to trade the forest goods with those Britishers. So Baigas is one tribe which basically traded many of the forest goods. Okay, like they used to trade honey, they used to trade ropes, they used to trade many of the animal skins with the Britishers in exchange of materials like rice and salt. So basically they were practicing a kind of barter system, okay. Money was not there, and in some places they also used to get money and they used to buy the essential product with the help of, after selling these forest goods. Okay, so trading is one occupation. In other occupations, basically many of the tribal people worked as coolies or porters. Because forest timber was something which was used in the railway lines also, which were used in the building of ship also. So the Britishers require many of the labours in the forest. So some tribal people started working as labour or coolies or porters. Porters means that they will carry the log on their heads and send it till the nearest port. So this was also one of the occupation which we can see, which we can observe the tribals doing in the later British India. Okay, so this is what we had to cover, the characteristics and tribal occupation. Okay, thank you.